Paul Brooksbank, duty manager at Crewe, responsible for the general day-to-day running of all the station and the car parks. Also some responsibility towards Runcorn and Stafford stations. They're just something that happens every single day. They do bring revenue in. They don't do any damage really, so we've just put up with them for quite a few years. Rather like the pigeons, they tend to wander up and down, never get in your way, so you don't bother about them so much. Because we seem to have a bit of a severe lack of them today, which is very unusual. Ah, over here. Now, we find that locomotive's just gone off the train, so they're changing it. Now there's some on the end of platform one over there, and they'll all be avidly watching it. You might even see one with a video camera.
What are you doing down here? What sort of things do you do on the platform?
Just click numbers, basically.
So, what's the interest of doing that? Why?
I don't know. It stems back from the childhood days, I suppose. Steam. Never sort of lost interest once steam had died.
Apart from the numbers, what sort of attracts you to the railway?
I don't really know, to tell you the truth.
I've come here a lot to Crewe regularly. I've done for the last maybe 4 or 5 years now. It's basically just train spotting. when you go train spotting, you write them down in a little notebook, and there are special books, special loco spotters books, printed with all the numbers in. And when you see one, you underline it in your proper book. You underline it, signifying that you've actually seen that one. And obviously the object is to underline as many as possible.
It's perhaps a bigger model of a Hornby set. I don't know. Nobody tends to understand why they do it, you see. I think you find they don't even understand themselves. If you asked them to analyse why they're actually standing on the end of a platform for days on end, they wouldn't know.
The history goes back to the 10th of May, 1842, which is obviously 151 years ago, when trains started to run across the top line. At that time, there wasn't a bridge here. That came in 1902. So from 1902, the fact that 2 lines crossed, train spotters moved in. Anyway, about 2 years ago, Barrett bought the land here after it was decided to demolish the council estate. And we immediately said, we're having that corner plot, you know, even if it takes the money to buy the house, we'll get back onto here. And that's what we did. What I would normally do on a day such as today, I would get up about 3:30 in the morning. I would go to work something around 4 or 4:30, and then I would drive. I'd be on duty for about 7 or 8 hours, or even into the 9th hour, and then I'd have to go home for a little siesta to top up on the sleep. And then when I rose, I'd get out of bed as a railway enthusiast, go to bed as a railway man, get up as an enthusiast, don the boiler suit, and immediately start to scrape something, paint something, hang something up, screw something to a wall or whatever. Well, in 1935, the London, Midland and Scottish Railway, who operated trains both above and below the bridge, they introduced this form of coding, slightly smaller than this, to put on the front of their locos, so that everybody would know which depot the loco belonged to. This was an area that the depots were coded in 9s. 9A was Longsight, 9B was Stockport Edgeley, 9E was Trafford Park, where the new freight terminal is, and 9F was Heaton Mersey, and there were other 9s as well. And I'm not doing it upside down. And a nice touch, there's a train coming. 2 in fact, I think.
Well, I think it's like his little playground, really. I mean, he didn't decorate for 10 years, and he still hasn't finished. I mean, we decorated last year, but it still isn't finished. I mean, there's tiles not doing in the kitchen.
Just got a little bit of tile in the kitchen, but I bought the tile cutter 2 weeks ago.
No tile,
so,
just a tile cutter.
but I've got the cutter, so I'm almost there. Yeah.
Are you both keen interested in trains?
No.
Beat me to it then, Kev.
Definite no.
So how do you... What do you think about this?
I think I'm going to leave him every month, but I never actually get around to it. It interferes with things I think that he should be doing on the house. I'm very supportive. Without me, he couldn't do anything.
I couldn't, no.
He could not do one single thing.
Because in the middle of restoring or putting up one of these signs, suddenly a voice will shout, "Tea's ready," or...
He doesn't do a thing in the house.
"Your sandwiches are
He
here,"
doesn't
or...
even make his own sandwiches for work.
See, so I'm totally carried, and
He doesn't
it's
even
true.
wash his own hair.
I thought, wash my hair. Run out of
Waits
time.
for me to do it.
Yeah,
I'm
so
more
she
like
is...
his mother than his wife at
Yes,
times.
this is it, yeah.
A lot of people collected engine numbers even before the war and sometimes got into trouble for it. The police would want to know what these secret and mysterious figures were in their notebooks. But it wasn't organised, and it was another publisher, not us, who produced the Ian Allen Trainspotters Club and the ABCs, which listed all the locomotives of the Railways of Britain.
I had a few accidents on motorbikes, so I thought the best thing to do is get a three-wheeler, because I'm not very far from work. Then I got one, and I thought it would be a good idea to paint it up with the hobby being railways and the coal sector on the railways. I thought, well, I'll do it in them colours. But then a chap had got a three-wheeler for sale. It was only £50, so I thought, well, I'll buy it for spares. And I thought it'd be a good idea to put it in the city. It was partly to do as to aggravate somebody, and of course, since I put it in there, you know, it just took off from there.
Normally, I mean, the best thing to do is you've got to try and find your spots to at least try and frame. I mean, I normally try and frame you know, the engine between, say, cantilever posts or something like that, so at least you can get a reasonable picture. In fact, it's not too bad a shot for me.
Especially with a video with sound, you get things like the bird song and the changing of the seasons and the noise that the trains make. Now, if you get a big diesel on something like a big stone train pulling away from a yard somewhere, that's where video scores, because you get the sound as well.
The day after it went on television, Intercity Promotions, they rang the day after, I think it was, and said that could they use the photograph that was in the Sun. And a couple of days later, I think it was on a Saturday, they did this advert and put it in the Times, the Guardian and all these sort of papers. I've took 19,000 photographs, just over 19,000. That was in about 9 years. And then I went on to video cameras in 1988. And I've got about 73 3-hour videos that I've taken myself. Of course, I've got other videos as well. You know, we get through them now and again.
There was an Irish enthusiast who, when asked this by the television many years ago on an Irish rail, told the television man it was a substitute for sex. Well, there may have been some truth in it, I don't know.
I mean, there's more than one railway enthusiast where the hobby, you know, has been cited as correspondent. I mean, I know people who have split from their wives and there hasn't been another woman. There's been plenty of trains, but no other women.
Well, the female interest in railways is not very great, really. It's not very great, because I don't really think females are all that interested in things mechanical, are they? You know what I mean? Some of them maybe, but in the main, you know, I don't think they're too interested in mechanical things as such. You know, a lot of them anyway, really.
But you know, really today is a milestone, because Kath the quote was that she thinks of leaving me every month. I thought it was daily, so I'm getting, you know what I mean? I'm in a better situation than I thought I was. I mean, it's only it's sort of a 28th of the severity I thought it was.